And here we have Jingleheimer versus Rhyperior. Jingle. Oh, this is a cool battle. I remember this now. This is a good one. So Jingle brings in his Buzzwole right from the start against Rhyperior. And this Buzzwole is a big threat. It has Hone Claws, so it's boosting its attack. It has healing available. So it's really hard to kill. Merc turn 1 goes for Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp on Rhyperior. Really good play. I mean, it just worked out for him. Getting that burn is so nice for Merc. Really cool to see Rhyperior, of all things, going for Will-O-Wisp and getting huge value for it. So this Buzzwole's now at +1 damage, but you half that because he's burned. So he's actually doing less damage than he would be doing if he was at +0 overall. He goes for Drain Punch there on a Dusclops, so a great read from Merc. Goes for Bug Bite, trying to do some damage against the Dusclops. Dusclops goes for Shadow Claw there, which we actually will see in just a second was technically kind of a mistake. Buzzwole going for Hone Claws again. So now the Buzzwole's at +2, but because of the burn damage, it's now essentially at +0, doing as much damage as it would do just normally if it was not burned and no additional effects. Dusclops going for Poison Tail, which again is not his best play, as we will see very shortly here. Buzzwole going for Soft Boiled, and that's a potential problem for Merc because none of the attacks that Merc has used up until now have done enough damage to be able to stop the Buzzwole from healing. But this turn we see it. This Dusclops does know Hex, which does very big damage, doing double damage because the Buzzwole is burned. So really nice combo. Not sure why he took so long to use it, but burning with the Rhyperior and then switching into Dusclops and going for Hex is a really good combo. And will definitely stop this Buzzwole from doing anything. Buzzwole goes for Bug Bite, does very little. And this next Hex will finish it off. So this Buzzwole did very little. Huge threat from Jingle, and it hardly did anything. Golurk comes in to finish off the Dusclops, and it does one-shot it with a Shadow Claw. So down 1-1, but Merc does technically have a slight advantage because he gets priority switching. Melodic comes in, goes for a Bubble Beam against this Zebstrika. Zebstrika does not take that too well, and Merc does have that Rhyperior available for a possible electric attack. However, the Zebstrika does know Razor Leaf, does decent damage. That is 4 times effective. However, Rhyperior is very physically defensive, so it's not going to kill it, even after 2. Rhyperior goes for Mud Shot here, and that is just short of killing him, but he's burned. There was a turn earlier that the Rhyperior burned the Zebstrika. So combined with that burn, will end up killing it. Corviknight comes in to fight this Rhyperior, and here Jingle goes again. It's kind of interesting here. Definitely a misplay by Jingle, to be perfectly honest. So Jingle brings in his Corviknight against this Rhyperior. This Rhyperior has already burned 2 Pokemon from Jingle. And here he is setting up his attack. So like he's not actually gaining any value because he's just getting burned. And if his Corviknight is burned, it doesn't matter if it's setting up his attack. He's going to have to set up so much just to get any value of setting up at all. In order to be able to kill this Rhyperior. So setting up can be very useful. I think the timing that Jingle used to set up just really didn't work for him in this battle. And this Rhyperior, again, has burned 3 Pokemon. That's huge value, and has definitely done his job by this point. I don't want to be in a clip again. So it's very possible that this Corviknight will beat the Rhyperior anyway, but again, the Rhyperior's done his job. The Corviknight's burned. It's no longer a threat. Corviknight now at +2, so again, that math once again comes into play where when you're at +2 attack and you're burned, it means that you're doing normal damage. He's now at +3, so now he's doing slightly more damage than he would be doing normally. But Boltund is here, goes for Electro Ball, almost kills the Corviknight, but not quite. Goes for a Dragon Breath. Okay, so that's actually decent because the Corviknight here is using a special attack, which the burn does not affect. So he's at a +3 Dragon Breath, but Corviknight's just not that good as a special attacker, so it really doesn't do that much anyway. And this Corviknight will probably go down here. Nope. Jingle decides to save it. Which is also maybe a good play. I mean, it's always nice to save your Pokemon, especially if you can switch into a Golurk here and not take any damage because of your switch. So it was still a good play, but what he's saving here is a almost dead burned Corviknight, so it's really not that much value except for if he's able to use it as a sack later. The Boltund goes for Grass Whistle, a very dangerous play to make from Merc because Grass Whistle does have a high chance of missing, and if he did miss, the Golurk probably would have killed him, but luckily for him he did hit it. Didn't actually gain any value from it because he ended up switching into the Melodic anyway, but yeah, kind of even trade there. And this Golurk does end up killing the Melodic, so that's nice for Jingle there. Hawlucha coming in to fight the Golurk, goes for Bullet Punch, not going to be doing too much damage, and Golurk goes for Land's Wrath. So this is a turn that I had mentioned earlier the first time that I watched this battle after they did it live. Obviously a mistake on Jingle's side to go for a ground type move against a flying type Hawlucha. And it was actually also a mistake on Merc's part. He did not need to go for Bullet Punch. If he had gone for his flying attack, it would have killed the Golurk. The Hawlucha is absolutely 100% without a doubt faster than the Golurk, so there's no reason to go for a priority move. You want to go for your highest damaging move, which is not going to be Bullet Punch. So it's actually a mistake by both players, but because of the way that the turns worked out, it ended up kind of not making a difference in its own weird way. If both players had made their best play, it wouldn't have been any different from what just happened, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Latios comes in to try and fight the Hawlucha. Possibly could have come in earlier if he wanted to try and save his Golurk, but here's Latios going for Confusion and doing some decent damage. Boltund comes in and actually dies to a crit, so quite lucky for Jingle there to be able to one-shot the Boltund in that situation. Hydreigon comes in to fight the Latios, quite a good counter. Kind of. The dark part of Hydreigon is good against the psychic type of Latios, but the dragon part of both Pokemon are both weak and strong to each other. So it kind of actually ends up, if anything, being Latios possibly favored. It's going to depend on who has a better dragon attack. This Hydreigon is actually faster than the Latios though, which is not normally the case. Latios does have a higher base speed, but this Hydreigon just happens to be faster because of its nature or its IVs or both, and that is going to make a very big difference for Merc because it does mean that he is able to they're both going to two-shot each other, but because Merc's Hydreigon is faster, it makes such a big difference because he actually gets the kill. Jingleheimer realizes that and switches into his Mr. Mime, which is a super strong counter to a Hydreigon, and maybe even should have come in earlier because it's hard. Well, I guess he could have gone for a dark move and that might have hurt the Mime quite a bit, but either way, Rhyperior coming on in and will die to this Mr. Mime. And 2 Pokemon available for Merc. Merc here with the Hawlucha goes for Bullet Punch again. Super effective, but it's Bullet Punch, so it's not going to be doing too much damage. And Mr. Mime goes for Psywave, which will kill the Hawlucha. And Merc is down to his last Pokemon, which is Hydreigon here. And Hydreigon should lose to Mr. Mime in many situations, but this Hydreigon does actually just know Shadow Punch, which is really nice for Merc in this situation, is able to kill the Mr. Mime. And so now it's just down to this Latios versus the Hydreigon, basically. And as we've seen before, this Hydreigon is faster, so it does beat the Latios. So once again, very important that the Hydreigon was faster than the Latios. That was game winning. This Corviknight is still available, but as I mentioned earlier, it is completely useless in every way because it has no health and it's burned. So the Hydreigon just ends up winning a crazy way to win that battle from Merc. All sorts of interesting things happened. I really enjoyed that battle. And GG.